Okay, I guess I am live. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am doing this quick live Q&A for you guys regarding my subject on Ashtakvarga yesterday that I made the part one. And like I said, it's going to be a 2 or 3 part series to understand Ashtakvarga in a good, decent manner. However, I wanted to recap some of the things from yesterday. So, what is Ashtakvarga? Ashtakvarga, first of all, is mainly used in transits. Okay, so you judge the transit of an exalted or debilitated planet. Is it going to be good or bad in your particular horoscope? That is the main reason why we judge and use Ashtakvarga. And this is why, and I'm going to cover this in my second part, as to why I never really liked doing monthly horoscopes and yearly horoscopes. Because if, let's say, I'm talking about, oh, exalted Venus and love is in the air and you're going to get love, and yet your Venus is passing through the sign of Pisces with score of 0, it's not going to do nothing. So we're going to get into that tomorrow. Okay? And Ashtakvarga also is, in a quick manner, a recap of my yesterday's video, is a system where each planet gives a score to each house in your chart. And Rahu, Ketu, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto are not included. Only Ascendant, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. These 8 bodies and these 8 energies, entities are involved in scores. And Ashtakvarga is the end all, be all of things, meaning like all the yogas are present, all the situations are present. And it's like the final signatures are there that yes, this is going to be delivered to you. There's no if, ands, or buts. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. That's what Ashtakvarga is. Okay, so watch part one. This is just a recap. This is just for Q&A. And then the other thing that I did, I made a little mistake in 2 places yesterday. One, when I was telling you guys, like how if you add up all the numbers that Jupiter gives to a chart, Moon gives to a chart, Mercury gives to a chart, all the 7 physical planets, when they give a score, it always totals to 337 points. And when you divide that into 12, the average is 28. So not divided by 7, divided by 12 is 28. So it becomes the average score that any house can get. 28 points is average. The house is neither good, neither bad. Below 28, house is going to struggle. Below 25, it's going to struggle even more. Below 22, it's going to be really, really struggling. Above 28, good. Like 30 points, pretty good. 35 points, very good. 40 point, excellent. 50 points, my goodness. You must have done something crazy in one of your past lives to receive that. Now, many people will be saying is that, oh my God, I wish I had 50 points in my 11th house. I would have been so wealthy. You do not, trust me, with Ashtakvarga, you do not want the highest of score. Because what happens is when one house gets a lot of points, then the other house will suffer. Because you're taking away a lot of points from other house. Like you're taking some points from 9th house, 7th house, 5th house, 6th house to get 50 points. Like, woo! You're getting all the money. You're getting, like, see, 11th house, when all the points are accumulated and you get 50 points, let's say in your 11th house, sure, you will get gains. You will get great money. But number one, you won't be able to share that money with anybody. You might not be enjoying that with anybody. Neither you might be enjoying with your children, your spouse, your mother, your father. You may not even enjoy your own wealth. Okay? Especially if the second house suffers. What's the point of getting the money in if you can't save and do something with it, right? So I'm going to show you quickly, because I made the second thing that I did is I put a wrong decade for Rajiv Gandhi's horoscope. So if you look here, Rajiv Gandhi, this is his Samudya Ashtakvarga. These are the points that you see, 23, 22, 31, are accumulated points, and it's the addition of all the numbers given to by all the planets. So if you look at the ascendant, receives 23 points, right? So that means the ascendant, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, they all were giving some points maybe 2 points, 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, that equals to 23. This is known as the accumulated Samudya Ashtakvarga. So if you look at Rajiv Gandhi, look at how, remember the Manduk that I was talking about? The Manduk Ashtakvarga, where you take big leaps and big fall. Okay, the big leaps and big fall. So if you look, his house, 10th house is 31 points. Okay, great. It's good. It's good. It's fine. It's a very good, strong house. But bam, he takes the leap into the 11th house with 50 points. Huge leap. So he goes, and remember, this is something I learned from my Ashtakvarga teacher, Mark Boney. He takes a huge leap from being just a prime minister, just a son of a prime minister, to boom, becoming a prime minister when Indira Gandhi was assassinated. He came out of nowhere, and she was actually breeding Sanjay Gandhi to be the next one up. And I believe he passed away from accident while flying a plane. So if you see, the big leap came in, boom, became one of the most recognizable, memorable prime ministers of India. But if you look at the 12th house, where the sign of the number 23 is, that's a big leap downwards, fall. Like you get a huge up leap and huge down leap. That means he became a prime minister, and within 2-3 years, boom, assassinated through a bomb blast. I'm not saying you're going to be assassinated with a bomb blast, because you need to have a yoga to be having that type of a way of passing away. So this is where the Manduk really comes in. I think yesterday was only showing 42. I'm like, 42, it's only not that much. Well, I remember when I was taking my lessons with Mark Boney, I'm like, they were showing 50. So definitely here we see 50 points. So this is unusual. Okay, then remember when I was saying, if your ascendant should always have more points than the 6th house of accidents, obstacles, illnesses, diseases. So I had some people say, well, my 6th house receives 42 points, my ascendant receives only 25, 23 points, but I've never had illness, sickness, anything. Fine, that's okay. But you got to understand, if you look at the difference, Rajiv Gandhi has 23 points given to his ascendant. He has 35 points in the 6th house. Okay? Meaning, eventually, and if you look at the difference, it's a pretty big difference of 12 points. So that means that enemies will overcome you. That's what it means. If all the yogas are set up of that, okay, you're supposed to be dealing with enemies somehow, whether it's a court case, physical fight, somebody coming after you, it shows an enemy will overcome you. Obstacles will overthrow you. This doesn't mean that if you're healthy, Rajiv Gandhi was healthy and fine. He was in the greatest health of his life. But boom, it took less than a nanosecond for his entire body to be obliterated. And so this is seen through these Manduk leaps. Leaps of gain through certain losses, and having the ascendant, having such big difference between the ascendant points to the 6th house points. Even the 8th house receives more points than the ascendant. Then if you look at his 7th house, 19 points in the 7th house. He had a great marriage and great love story with Sonia Gandhi. Right? There was one of the very rare back in the days interracial marriage. Like everybody's like, oh my God, he married an Italian. Whoa, oh no. But he was in love with her. Having 19 points doesn't mean that you are suffering in a marriage, unless some yogas are present, but simply shows that he did not get to enjoy his marriage all the way. He didn't see his children, going to college and having their own children. I believe Rahul and Sanjay Gandhi were what, like, or Rahul and Priyanka Gandhi were like 9, 10, maybe. So it kind of shows, that life, that part won't be joy. And this is why what happens when you get 50 points in one house, and then 31 in the third house of courage, and 10th house of career gets 31 points, then the things that really matter suffers through Ashtakvarga, meaning children, marriage, mother, father. Okay, so that's what we will remember. Then let's go to the other screen. Let's look at the individual point. Individual point that I'm talking about, from my first part, what the planet gives. Well, if you look at his sun gives 1 point to the ascendant. 1 point. Okay? So remember, I thought sun is exalted. I thought sun is sun is Multrikon in Leo. Sun is in its own sign, Leo. So let's say if I was doing a Leo horoscope and Rajiv Gandhi was watching me. He was watching my monthly video. He's watching my monthly videos from the heavens. He's probably like reincarnated, I'm sure, but he's watching my video. He's like, oh, sun is going to come into Leo. This is going to be a time for recognition and fame. But if you look, sun is only giving 1 point. 1 point, which is below 4 points, the average. See, planets will give anywhere from 0 to 8. 0 is just nil, nothing at all. 8 is excellent. And below 4 is just not good. And so first house represents your health, your vitality. The sun and moon represents our body, the reason why we exist. Ascendant, sun and moon. The sun itself gives 1 point to the body, but also any time for Rajiv Gandhi's sun transits the sign of Leo, not really doing anything, he's sleeping. Like, his sun is only going to be awake at 1 point. That's it. So if, let's say, sun transits a house within 30 days, right? A sign in 30 days. And let's say sun gave only for 3 days, maybe 3 days out of that whole month, sun is going to say something. Sun is going to do something, but because it's only 1 point, it's going to be very weak at its ability to give that one thing. And which I'll discuss tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to discuss, the transit part, and we're going to discuss Kakshaya slot. That's where this will make sense. So if you look, sun gives 1 point to the body, 7 points to recognition, 5 points to career, above average, 2 points to the mother, meaning that the mother's health or something with the mother is just not going to be the greatest. And then remember, sun gives 6 points to the 6th house, meaning sun is giving more points to his obstacles than his ability to withstand and survive those obstacles. This is important. You have to understand the Ashtakvarga, not just Sarvashtakvarga. You have to look at and then remember, sun represents the father. It's the impact of the father upon Rajiv Gandhi. Which areas of life father would help or dominate in for Rajiv Gandhi? Okay, so ninth from the sun receives 5 points, which is okay. Father was there trying to teach things. Father may have helped in the career. I'm not really aware of his father. I believe he was some Muslim person, right? The political person. Who was his father's name? I forgot. But sun can show where the father will impact. But sun also shows vitality. The body itself seems to deal. Sun is saying no power, giving no power to the body to stay intact for a long period of time, and especially when it transits the sign of Leo, is not really doing anything. And then if you look at moon, look at the moon. Moon gives 0 points to the 2nd house. 0. Gives 7 to the 3rd house of courage, 7 to the 10th house of career, 7 to the 11th house of recognition, a 4th house or 5th house, 5 points to the 4th house of property. So we can see that the mother helped Rajiv Gandhi. His mother, whoever this person is, forget even if it's Rajiv Gandhi, this person's mother will help him, give him a lot of courage, help him with his career, and through the mother he will gain recognition and some post. And it's only due to mother's death that Rajiv Gandhi went to the higher status. So if you look at the moon, the second house represents what? Family, lineage, food, speech, wealth, earnings, savings, but also what is the second house is known as the Marka house, right? Death inflicting houses. Marka house, second house, for second house, 7th house, 8th house. Marka houses. So what this shows us, okay, where is it? Okay, so what this shows us, that mother will not be enjoying her wealth too much. And through the mother, he will not be able to enjoy the wealth either. Whatever the accumulated wealth is, this person will not be able to enjoy it. Now remember, I'm only saying this because of the fact other factors are there. The yogas are there. The dasha was there. The planetary dignity in his Trimsamsa chart. Planetary dignity in his Navamsha chart were seen before I am making these conclusions. So you can't make these conclusions about your chart if you have 0 or 1. Because remember, 0 simply means like there's no power. So whenever moon transits for 2.5 days, or Rajiv Gandhi in the sign of Virgo, and if let's say moon was becoming the significator of him to find a job, those particular 2.5 days when moon transits the sign of Virgo, an astrologer will never say, if moon is becoming a factor for him to get a job, an astrologer will never say this is the day you're going to get a job, because the astrologer will be like, moon's not going to do anything. Moon is just going to sleep all the way through. It's going down, over, and then okay, it's in the sign of Libra. In the sign of Libra, moon is awake pretty much 90% of the entire sign. So whenever for Rajiv Gandhi, moon transited the sign of Libra, moon was awake 95% of the time. It was like, wow, I am feeling powerful. I'm feeling good. This is why Rajiv Gandhi was so good at his communication, because his mind knew, moon is the mind. Mind knew how to connect with people through communication. So this is part of the first part that I'm discussing as a rebuttal, as a recap of the video that I did yesterday. So please watch that first video to get a better grasp of Ashtakvarga. Because right now I'm just speeding through, through a lot of things that I discussed. So now I want to know, what questions do you guys have from yesterday's video? Nothing that that I did not teach yesterday, because I will be covering the part 2, part 3 next week. Am I in Quora? What does that mean? No, I'm talking about, you're so confused, Beth. That's why you have to watch the first video. Watch the part 1, not 1B. I made the video yesterday of what is Ashtakvarga. Okay? So watch that to really understand this particular part of the video. Can also be good. Do you use Ashtakvarga when using Jaimini techniques? Very good question. And I asked the same question to Mark Boney. No. This is only for Parashara system. And this is only for Parashara analysis. However, okay, it never hurts to research on that. Because after all, Jaimini system itself is using the same houses, same planets. Okay. However, the way we understand the aspects, the way we see the transits, it's really designed for the Parashara system more than Jaimini. Okay. So good question. It has not been proven or tested. Maybe K.N. Rao will come up. Okay, so my daughter was like right outside the door. So maybe K.N. Rao and Mark Boney may come up with a research they might be doing right now, and they're like, "Yep, it works for Ashtakvarga." One thing I know that they have tested and proven at Bharati Vidya Bhavan is that the Karka of Jaimini, Dhara Karka, Gatani Karka, Matya Karka, Atma Karka, Bhatri Karka, you can use them in Vimshotri Dasha. Meaning, let's say you're going through let's say you're going through Mahadasha of Mercury. Okay? Mercury is your Matrikarka. Regardless of which house Mercury is in, Mercury could be in the 12th house. But Mercury is Matrikarka. Matrikarka is everything related to the 4th house. Mother, home, land, real estate, vehicles, possessions. So in Mercury period, we can see that this person will most likely could get a real estate property or a vehicle. If let's say, for example, you're going through 6-year period of Sun. In Jaimini concept, Sun is Dharakarka, meaning the planet with the lowest degree. Becomes the planet related to spouse, 7th house matters. So that means Sun, regardless of if it rules the 7th house or not in your birth chart or Navamsha, Sun has the potential to give you marriage in its period. So that's something we have seen. Okay. So what other questions you guys have from yesterday's video that I made? If 12th house has lowest points, good question, which means that your expenses are very little, your wastage of money is very little, meaning you're probably a very cheap or frugal person, depending upon how much your second house is like. If second house has too much, okay, so let's say, for example, your 12th house has 19 points. Second house has 50 points, right? Oh my God, wealth is coming in. However, remember, too much of anything is not good because something will always suffer. So when you have too much of second house, you become very stingy, very cheap. You could be a multimillionaire. You will make sure that your wife is wearing the most, like a second hand, third hand sari that somebody wore for 10 years, and you buy that for your spouse. That's how stingy you become with too much. But having lower points in 12th house shows see, you have low points in 12th house. Fine. But what are you comparing that to? You got to know that too. What is it being compared to? It needs to be compared to the second house of gain, of wealth, and need to be compared to the 11th house of gains. The income and gains and sustenance of wealth, are they more than your 12th house? But if the lowest points are with the 12th house, then your expenses are very little, but also what this shows, disinterest towards traveling to foreign lands. Or anytime you travel to foreign lands, you just feel kind of lost. So, what else? Yashi, they think you're cute, bro. He is sleeping in his response. 8th house has lowest points, only 20. Okay. So again, we don't know what we're trying to compare this to, right? But having the 8th house as the lowest point shows the sudden events that happen in your life, sudden ups and downs, accidents, surgeries, those will be far less than compared to somebody who may have 42 points, somebody who may have 35 points. For them, they keep, like if let's say you have 38 points in the 8th house, your life is just a roller coaster of transformation and changes. It's funny, I did a chart of somebody, I'm not going to say their name, but they were in the profession of acting. Very well known person. And this was about, I think, 3 months ago. Three, 4, I don't even know anymore. 4 months ago, I did their chart. Okay. Eighth house has like around 38 points, and their entire life has been about playing roles that go through many transformations, many changes. In one, movie, they may play a part of a police, the other they may play a part of a magician, and the other they may play a part of this. So you see, so when you see the Ashtakvarga, you can be like, remember the video that I made last week called "It's Never an Act in Astrology." So Ashtakvarga can apply to that too. So let's say your eighth house has the most points, and you want to be an actor. Well, try to find acting gigs that you have very rapid change of roles. You go from a police officer to a robber to a tantric guru to a sannyasi. You see how dramatic of a change that is. That will kind of like coincide with your, Ashtakvarga of the eighth house. What other questions you guys have from yesterday's class? Your Saturn gives 7 points to the ascendant, and you have total of 41 points in Sarvashtakvarga, which is the highest. No, there's no need to be confused. Anytime Saturn enters your ascendant through transit, it'll give excellent points. I don't care what sign it's in. It could be debilitated. And I'm going to show you this tomorrow or next week, sorry. Planet could be debilitated, and if it receives high points and it transits that sign, excellent results. Also having the highest points on the body is able to withstand not only any health alignment, but if an enemy comes and attacks you, you'll be able to survive that most of the time. Of course, everybody has to die. You having high points in Ashtakvarga doesn't mean you're going to live forever. You are going to die. That's fine. You have a certain amount of breaths, and when they're exhausted, doesn't matter how many big of a Raj Yoga or Dhan Yoga have, you go. But till then, ascendant also shows with the high points that recognition is there. Fame. First house represents fame. So a person with high Ashtakvarga points in the first house can actually will be recognized. Now, when and how? Well, for that we have to look at the dashas. We have to look at a few. Again, it's a synthesized, scope of matter. You have to synthesize everything. First of all, forget Ashtakvarga by itself. Number one, do you have the yoga to get fame? Do you have the yoga to be attacked by an enemy? Do you have the combination to have wealth through fame? Okay, if you do have all of this, and then we see 42 points on the ascendant, okay, that's like a sign off. Remember what I said, it's like a final signature by universe that yes, what is to happen will happen. If Ashtakvarga is low and all these things are there, like, yeah, well, through effort you can make it happen, sure, yeah. You got, 25% free will. Go ahead and put your effort in. Wheel it in. So, what other questions you guys have? Your seventh house has 20 points. Yeah, don't worry about that. That'll be discussed in either the second or third part. So I know many of you were emailing me yesterday. Many of you were leaving the comments on my Facebook and everything. I have 19 points. I have 22 points. Oh my God. Am I supposed to, can you tell me if I will ever get married? I knew exactly, and I even said it in my video yesterday. Don't go on that one part. But you guys, again, you guys see what happens with psychology. You guys get fearful, especially women were fearful and they were emailing me. And so I said, wait, I will not answer this. I'm going to answer this all together in my part 2, which I'm going to make probably Wednesday, Thursday. I've got other videos to make. In the second or third part, you guys will realize that, oh, okay, so me having 19 points doesn't really matter. I'm good. So you'll find that out. Sometimes, yes, it may not be good, of course. You know, as much as I try to sugarcoat a lot of things, you can escape certain things. So yes, there will be those incidents, but I will tell you what you need to really look for to really make that determination that 19 points is bad for your marriage. So what else you guys have for yesterday's class? Just 27 points in the sixth house means that the native will be prone to illnesses. No. What is the points of the ascendant? What are the points that the ascendant Lord has? 26 points in the sixth house shows sixth house is weak. Illnesses, diseases, enemies, deaths do not stick around for too long. That's what happens. This is why I was saying first house should always have more points than the sixth house, because you have the ability to overcome your enemies. I know somebody was saying having more points in the sixth house meaning that you'll be able to defeat your enemies, you'll be able to defeat your diseases. No, your sixth house becomes more powerful than you. You have to be powerful to beat that sixth house. Some consider Rahu's AV points too. They can consider whatever they want. They can consider Neptune points. I'm sure somebody's going to come up with Neptune's Ashtakvarga and Uranus Ashtakvarga. But if it's not taught to me by my teacher, Mark Boney, if it's not discussed by scholars like K.N. Rao, Art Defoe, or other people out there, I don't want to create a balloon of nothingness, nothing burger. Okay? I don't want to create a balloon of nothing burger concept, because if it's never written in the classics, if you can find a classic document, I'm sure there could be one in South India, hidden in those millions of documents of hidden knowledge of Jyotish. Sure, show us. But if somebody's just coming up just to be all scholarly and, oh look, I'm the next Einstein, I discovered the Sarva Ashtakvarga for Rahu, I don't buy into all of that. Not in there, just don't follow it. Just follow the system that is given. But Rahu Ketu Ashtakvarga, okay. Rahu Ketu Ashtakvarga, like I was saying yesterday, I think I said that yesterday in my video, you simply use the points that the Lord is giving to Rahu, or to the house, the sign that Rahu is sitting in, and look at the same way like 11th from Rahu, high or low points, because it is a significant period, 18 years of Rahu. I mean, if you're going to use if you're going through Rahu Mahadasha, and you're asking me to use Ashtakvarga, I will use it, of course, because transits are seen. This is mainly for transits, Ashtakvarga. But if you want to really judge, you can also, some scholars have seen where, if let's say Rahu is in Leo and Sun gives 2 points to the sign of Leo, well, that means Rahu has to deal with that 2-point energy. But let's say 11th from Rahu, Sun gives 8 points. That means Rahu itself will also coincide with the 11th house, because remember, it's a chameleon planet. It's going to take that embodiment of the sun and all the qualities of the sun, including the Ashtakvarga score of the sun. But Rahu itself will never give any points to any chart. Rahu, Ketu, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. So that's one thing. If most of the houses have 25, 27 points, it's good. It's average. It's even though it's considered below average, it is good. Because look, let me tell you something. There's no single person in this life whose all the aspects of life are perfect. Okay? Not a single person. A rich person will have problem with their marriage or children. They're billionaires and they're multimillionaires and politicians. They may have children. Sun could be doing drugs, could be raping women, could be killing people and blackmailing them. Father's not aware. Father's a multimillionaire politician and they're suffering somewhere. You may not like the house that receives the lowest points in Ashtakvarga, the accumulated point scheme. That's the point that you will not really pay attention to automatically. Your subconscious will never go there. So if it's your 8th or 6th house, you won't. The last thing in your mind would be health. The first thing in your mind will be the house that has the most points. So this is why when you receive high points in the 11th house, this is why what is a millionaire billionaire does constantly. How do I make money? How do I make money? How do I make money? How do I make the deal? How do I make the deal? How do I get this? How do I do that? How do I take this trend and make money from that? How do I take that idea and make money from that? Their entire life goes into that. And they don't really care for exercising, meditation, this, that. So the more the average, the score, 25 to 28, 29, 30. That's when a life is far more balanced and you are far happier. You're far happier when you have balanced horoscope instead of, oh yeah, look at me, I got 50 points in my second house or 45 points in my 11th house and I'm going to have all the gains. Sure, you'll have all the gains. How are you going to enjoy it? You're not going to be able to enjoy it because one of your other houses will definitely suffer. You may not be able to store it. Because if let's say your 11th house receives 50 points, your 4th house to hold on to the hoarded wealth, or you may not enjoy it. And I gave you the perfect example with Rajiv Gandhi. What else you guys have? I've got 5 minutes more. Any questions from yesterday's class on Ashtakvarga? What if someone has very few points in their chart? That is impossible. That's impossible. Remember, each planet or each planet gives a certain amount of fixed numbers to each person on this planet. If you look at all the humans, Saturn always gives 39 points, distributes 39 points. Like as soon as you're born, Saturn takes all the points, throws it out. Jupiter takes all the points, throws it out on all the 12 houses. You can never have less than, like Jupiter gives maximum of 56 points. That's why Jupiter is a great benefic. Jupiter will never give 50 points, 45 points. Even to the worst person you can think of, Adolf Hitler, that he's like the king of the worst people, Jupiter is still giving him 56 points in his chart somewhere. If you add up all of his Ashtakvarga of Jupiter, they're going to be 56 points. So there's no such thing as less points. There's only something as some houses receiving less or more. What else you guys have from yesterday's class? I don't have wings though. Hopefully I get my wings now that I helped you. Like, even though I don't have Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra, but I'll have wings. So what other questions you guys have? What does that mean? 10,000 less points. You gotta give me a perfect sentence, because if you saw my yesterday's class on Ashtakvarga, you gotta give me a proper sentence so I can answer it properly. Doesn't mean anything to me less points in the 5th house. Okay, compared to what? Seventh house max points but got divorced. What do you mean by max points? How many points for the 7th house receiving? And then again, I'm gonna say, was okay. So I feel like you guys haven't watched my video. Some of you guys who are commenting. Number one, was the divorce promised in the chart? If it was promised, then it was going to happen regardless of the high or low points. Then number two, you haven't watched part 3 of my Ashtakvarga video. Like I said, do not just go on a single particular score on in your chart. You are going to lose big time. This is why and I didn't want to make a 3 hour long video, because first of all, people just get bored in like the first 30 minutes. So watch part 2 and 3 before you guys say I got divorced and I had this point and I'm poor and I have 50 points. Just watch part 2 and 3 and then determine things. Thank you. Best. Any reason for low 9th house score for most of the chart? No. Well, there's no reason because this hasn't been found yet. I've seen people get like 38 points in the 9th house. They are very strong about their cultural beliefs and religious beliefs, or want to study philosophy. I mean, there's no such thing. I've seen that. 5th house has 39 points. Your children will bring in a lot of fame and recognition to you. And pretty much through children, your speculative luck will come in. And children will do very well. It's only based on just the score. And I'm assuming that everything is right for you. All the alignments are there. Jupiter is in a good place. 5th Lord is in a good place. That means you will have children. Now, if you have children, that's when the 39 points will come in. Now, let's say if you don't have children. Let's say you have yoga, denial of children. You have 39 points in the 5th house. What does that mean? Well, you'll be excellent in speculative gains, investments, stock market. So it's a trade-off. 5th house is always a trade-off. Either you can have a happy life with children, or you can have a happy life being a stockbroker, a sports bettor, or a gambler. How can I get my points? Well, you can get your points from my website, astrologycares.com, in option 5 and beyond, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You'll get the PDF report, and under the Ashtakvarga section, you will see all your scores of Binashtakvarga, Sarvashtakvarga, reductions, Trikon reduction, Ekapati reductions, which I'd rather have you guys learn that from Mark Boney than me, because I'm just giving you how I understand things. I don't care for any manual calculations, but you'll get all your scores through there. Also, many people are asking about Indu Lagna. What is my Indu Lagna? Well, that is also in my report. If you go in my report on Jaimini sections, I think it's page 58. I could be wrong, but just go into the Jaimini section, and there's a box on the right hand corner that says Bhatika Lagna, Indu Lagna, Aruda Lagna. It gives you your alternative ascendants. So you'll see that if your Indu Lagna is Gemini or Taurus, that means Venus rules Taurus, right? Venus Mahadasha will trigger your ability to make money and get money. How much or how little? For that, use the yogas, use the Ashtakvarga. But when an Indu Lagna Dasha starts, you start making money. Whether you make 20,000 rupees a month or 20 lakhs a month. It's a wealth giving Dasha. I got 2 more minutes. On the real though, isn't having lots of illnesses, enemies is a good thing? Like it can build your immune system, and sure, but remember, when I was talking about the point scheme being more than the 1st house, 6th house can overcome your 1st house. If it overcomes your body, then how are you going to be able to go to the next illness and deal with it if they overtake your 1st house? So you see, it's you really want to be careful what you wish for. Any other questions from yesterday's class? Yes, the Ashtakvarga for divisional charts will be discussed. Don't worry about it. It'll be. So anyway, guys, hopefully this answered some of the missing points and questions and whatnot from yesterday's part one of Ashtakvarga. If you are watching this now, please watch the part one, not 1B. Part one. Okay, that's the main one, and I'm just doing a rebuttal to this today. So anyway, guys, we'll see you tomorrow with my Planets Through Ascendant series. Bye bye.